well here today here at Chicago Stadium as we look at the beautiful Juanita Jordan, wife of Michael Jordan. And I am now joined by James Jordan, father of Michael. Now, James, Michael has told you this is their year, hasn't he?
Well, you know, Michael says that they've gotten so close this year and there's no assurance that they're going to get this close again, so he's certainly like to go all the way.
So for all the parents out there, was there one point when you thought that Michael was going to be as great a player as he is?
No, there was no way you could tell. You know, I always thought Michael would play baseball. Of course, he had that year that he grew so much, and it's just been a joy watching him develop into the player that the world can see today.
All right, hopefully we can watch him all the way through the playoffs.
I hope so. If he do, I'll be right there. I'll be his #1 fan all the way through.
All right, thanks, James.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Back to you, Mom.
On July 23rd, 1993, Michael Jordan's life changed. After playing golf with his son, James was driving home. His eyes grew heavy and his body sluggish. He decided to pull over on the side of the road to take a quick nap before he drove any further. He stopped in the parking lot of a Quality Inn at the intersection of US 74 and I-95, south of Lumberton, North Carolina. 11 days later, on August 3rd, James Jordan's body was found in a swamp in McCall, South Carolina. Due to his body being in an extreme state of decomposition at this time, he was not identified until the 13th of August. Due to the lack of storage space, the coroner had previously cremated James's body, keeping only his hands and jaw for identification purposes. These were later mailed to Michael Jordan. Only 2 days after discovering James Jordan's body, they came across his red Lexus SC400 in the same swamp. This contained crucial evidence to the case. This included blood from James Jordan along with 2 other DNA profiles in and around the car. They had found that after James's death, whoever had killed him used his phone to make several phone calls. This ultimately led to the capture of the shooters, Daniel Green, 20, and Larry Demery, 18. They were arrested later in August. Following their arrest for the murder of James Jordan, Daniel Green and Larry Demery each implicated the other during the investigation and legal proceedings. During interrogations by law enforcement, both Daniel Green and Larry Demery initially denied involvement in the murder and attempted to shift blame onto the other. However, as the investigation progressed and evidence against them mounted, they each eventually confessed to their roles in the crime. In his confession, Larry Demery implicated Daniel Green as the primary instigator and shooter in the murder of James Jordan. Demery claimed that Green had shot Jordan during a robbery attempt, and he described his own involvement in helping to dispose of the body and cover up the crime. On the other hand, Daniel Green portrayed Larry Demery as the one who initiated the robbery and shooting, and he claimed that he had only participated in the crime under duress. Green maintained that Demery was the one who pulled the trigger and committed the murder. These conflicting accounts and attempts to shift blame onto each other created tension and distrust between Daniel Green and Larry Demery. Their conflicting narratives during the legal proceedings added complexity to the case and required careful examination of the evidence to establish the truth of what had occurred. During trial, Larry Demery's defense team painted a picture that Daniel Green was the killer and that Larry panicked after Green shot James Jordan in the chest, which ultimately killed him. The original plan was only to tie up Mr. Jordan and steal his car, but Green shot him for no apparent reason. They then tried to get rid of any evidence that they were involved, but not before taking anything that they thought would be valuable, including some NBA championship rings that Michael had given his father.
Somebody goes to answer the door. It wasn't me. I think it could have been Monica. I'm not sure. So when Larry comes in the house, he's, he's acting very nervous. He has a scratch on his face. So I'm like, damn, bro, what's up? Basically the first thing you asked me, he woke up like, look, man, what time is it? So he's like, listen, man, such and such happened. And she's looking, cause my mom had came into the room and she's like irate. She's like, listen, if y'all gonna go to sleep, go to sleep. Like, y'all shouldn't be up. I don't even know if she even knew, what was really going on, except for, Larry, why you come back, at this house, which is not her house, at this time of morning. So y'all can either go in and go to sleep or y'all can leave. So we go outside to talk, and that's when he tells me that he shot this guy. So listen, man, went out there to meet, this guy. He said Godfather stood him up. He wasn't in place. Godfather was the guy from Georgia that was supposed to go. He said, so I had to go out there, and this dude tried some funny shit. He tried me, and I ended up having to shoot him. So to be honest with you, I thought he was lying. I didn't even believe it. I thought it was okay, this is a practical joke. Can we do that? We've been doing that since we were kids, elaborate practical jokes. And I had never seen him scared before, except for, when he had problems with his father. But other than that, I never seen him scared. So we get in the car and we go out to the hotel, which is the Quality Inn Hotel. Beside the store, there's a car. It's a red Lexus. So we get out of his car, we get into the Lexus. He's driving. He pulls right around the store, drives closer to the hotel. There were bushes, maybe a ditch or a canal, an indentation in that area, and there was a body there. So we get out the car, and he goes back to his car. He gets a quilt or blanket type of material out of his trunk. Basically, we take his body, put it on the blanket, and then we move the body.
So when you go out to this field and you see this dead body, how do you react? Well,
at first I'm like, damn, this motherfucker ain't lying. And this is the worst possible place because this hotel is I don't want to use the word mob. I don't know what you would call it, but it's their territory. And they use this area as a drop-off point and as a distribution point. Prostitution goes on there and gambling. They had rooms that was just used for them where they would store drugs that they had taken off people or whatever. It's their spot. So the thing is, he's I'm telling him, bro, let's just go, right? Okay, did anybody see you? Because I'm scared because we're out there and there's a dead body out there. And I don't know, did somebody see it? You shot this guy, somebody had to hear it.
So you have this dead body, you and Larry are standing over it. What do you do with the dead body at this point?
Like I said, Larry went and got this quilt out of his trunk of his car. He went and got it. We put this body on the quilt and put it in the trunk of the car.
Well, I mean, it's a body. Did both of you lift the body up together and put it in the trunk?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You guys are in this red Lexus with a dead body in the trunk. What happens next?
Well, Larry gets in and drives. He said he knew where he wanted to take it at. So I didn't know. He said something about putting it in the water. He gets on Highway 74, makes a right, which means that we're driving west, and goes straight to Laurinburg, North Carolina, which is 30 minutes away. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 40 minutes away from Lumberton. But of course, he's driving fast. I've never been to this place before, but we were in South Carolina. Technically, we was maybe 100 yards or so from the North Carolina South Carolina border, and we got out the car and they kind of backed the car up to this very low. I want to say a bridge, but technically we was on a bridge, but it's a cement railing type of thing. He backs the car up there. They'll get out the car. Untie the trunk, unpop the trunk because he had to put it like a rubber tie in the locking portion of the trunk and pull it down because I guess the size of the trunk was not big enough to allow him to completely close the trunk. But he gets out and we take the body and we put the body in the water.
Daniel Green did not testify in trial, unlike his co-defendant. They were both sentenced to life imprisonment for the roles they played in the killing of James Jordan. There have been occasional discussions and debates about the handling of the case by authorities. Some critics have raised questions about various aspects of the investigation, trial proceedings, and potential legal issues surrounding the convictions of Daniel Green and Larry Demery. One point of contention has been the reliability of the confessions obtained from Green and Demery during police interrogations. Critics have raised concerns about the circumstances under which the confessions were obtained and whether they were coerced or influenced by law enforcement tactics. Additionally, there have been discussions about the possibility of seeking clemency or reconsideration of the sentences for Daniel Green and Larry Demery. Advocates for the individuals have argued for leniency based on factors such as their age at the time of the crime, potential mitigating circumstances, and claims of rehabilitation during their time in prison. As of now, there haven't been any significant updates or changes to the convictions of Daniel Green and Larry Demery in the murder of James Jordan.